doing just the same amount of work, if not more, than that person that you hope to see. And don't get physical. A lot of times people want to get their kids, like, you know, to the front because they want the best spot, and, you know,
yeah,
being in that close proximity is going to cause problems.
Are there usually, like, how many actors or actresses usually come out?
Usually not mainly the people that, like, are the big names or the stars. It's usually, like, a lot of the ensemble members, and sometimes you're lucky, but, like, the best time to go to the stage door is, like, an evening performance, because then they don't have, like, another performance after that, and they're, like, just going home or going on the subway, so then they have more time to come out and talk.
That makes sense.
So, why to do the stage door? Why do you think it's a good place to do the door?
I mean, I think it's exciting after you see the show to, like, get on, like, a personal level with them, just, like, talking to them and, like, letting them know, like, how much you appreciate them doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, like, a great way to connect, especially because you just sat through, like, most shows are, like, 2 hours and 30 minutes, and, like, you went on the same journey that they did, and you feel, like, connected to them, and, like, you want to just share your experience, what you thought, and, like, I think it could be a fun experience, but I could see how most people think it's terrifying, because you're in a big, like, some of them get, like, really packed, and it's very, like, you're squashed, and it's, like, uncomfortable, and plus you have some, like, sweaty person right on top of you.
Yeah.
And it's a good way of learning patience, because there's no better place to be than to be patient there.
Yeah, definitely.
It takes up a lot of your time, and also people want to get in and out, but it does take a while for, like, the actors to come out, because if they have guests at the show, or if they have to sign something else for something they're doing, like, it does take, like, you should plan on being there for, like, an extra hour after the show.
Well, like, it's not guaranteed, like, if they come out or not, so, like, how do you just wait, like, how long would you wait to see if they even do?
Usually the security guard comes out and says, like, that's it, like, that's everyone who's going to sign. So, like, you typically know, and, like, once they start taking away the barricade, there's no one coming back out.
Yeah.
So, and it's a great way to meet them without paying, like, you're not paying a meet and greet fee that could be, like, $500 or anything. You're just going after the show and waiting, like, no matter how long it takes, and you meet lots of, like, cool people. Even, like, sometimes you get cool, nice people standing by, and you, like, can learn why they like this show or whatever, but you do occasionally have your people that are not so nice, and they just want to be there for whatever.
Like, they think it's all about them, pretty much.
They try they try to make it seem like you'll have your people that will tell the actor, like, oh, like, the sob story to get them to, like, spend more time with, like, their kid, and, like, if they don't, then you have your, like, mothers who hate how the pictures come out and start crying over and make them retake it, and they like, some people treat the actors, which I think you should treat them like human beings and, like, respect them, but others just treat them as, like, a way, like, just to get what they want, that they think they're owed something.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like, it's not in their contract to do that, so, like, I think it's really important to make sure you're being respectful.
Yeah, because it's, you know, again, they're not getting paid for it, they do it just because they like meeting their fans and, like, connecting with people. So.
And like you said, the stage door is usually, like, it's barricaded off, so, like, you'll know where it is.
Yeah, it's labeled stage door, like, it's right there. It's easy to find. It's normally you exit the theater and it's right there.
Commercial.
We'll be back after this commercial. And we're going to talk about stage door. Is it fun or stressful? So what do you think, Caitlin?
I think it could be both. Like, I think it would be fun to meet the actors and actresses after the show, but I also think that it could be stressful because, like we said before, that, I mean, there's all these people around, and if you don't like that, you might be crammed in, depending on how busy it is. So definitely could be both.
Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on how you make it. It could be a fun experience, but also it could be stressful and scary. And especially for the actors too. Like, there is some instances, like Ben Platt, I know it caused him to go to the stage door after he started Dear Evan Hansen after, like, the show. because there would be so many people like asking him for so many things. It caused him to have like really bad anxiety, and he had to be put on medication and everything. So he eventually like just stopped going to the stage door at all. And then also Barrett Wilbur-Weed, who she plays Janice in Mean Girls, she like will never come out to the stage door because she was followed like home numerous times. And like I just think that's taking it to a whole new level. Like it's one thing to be like you worship them or whatever, but like you don't follow someone home.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like that's pretty scary, especially for them. I mean, and that would like just ruin their whole experience, and for any show they do, like they wouldn't want to go out.
Yeah, like I know she said like there's no way she would ever do it again, and if I was her, I'd be the same exact way. Like,
yeah,
why would you want to come out knowing that possibly someone could follow you home? And like, who knows what the guy like wanted?
That's true.
And like also, like I think we need to get away from that. If your favorite actor or actress doesn't come out, you don't send them like a death threat over, because like there has been numerous like Broadway actors that have gotten death threats or like said like all these terrible things to them just because they didn't want to come out at like the stage door. And like I said before, they're not obligated. Like they just do it when they want to, and sometimes they're like way too tired or they have other obligations that they have to go to.
Yeah, I think death threats is very like that's going overboard. I mean, like yeah, you could follow them on social media. That's how they get in contact with you, but still, that's kind of going overboard. Just threatening them because they didn't want to come out, but like you said, they're not obligated to do it.
Yeah, and then like even sometimes when like it could just be, you could like feel the vibe off of other people, like how stressful it is, because like you could also tell by the actor, like they don't like when people are like shoving things like in their face, like screaming all this stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean nobody would.
And no, that's not terrible. That's terrible. But like they tend to like sheer away and like go quick. Like they tend to like talk to you more if you're like nice and ask them how they are and like that you like the show and like all this stuff. But like it definitely could be a very stressful. Like I feel like if I was like a Broadway star, like I would probably not, because like I'm typically shy, so I'm like I wouldn't like that many amount of people coming and like screaming your name and stuff.
Yeah, I mean I think it would be stressful for both, because like you said, like you're shy, so like as an actress you wouldn't do it. But I mean like you stage door now. And I think it could be stressful, like, depending on whether it's the actress or you.
Yeah.
Like, I think it could be a stressful experience for both.
Yeah. But there's also, like, enjoyment of it, because it's like, oh, you're excited to be there, but, like, yeah, it's very stressful. So, now we're going to talk about when to stage door and how. So, you need to plan ahead to ensure a good spot. So, I normally have my dad, who, thank God for him, he normally waits out at the barricade like an hour before the show ends, and it gets like a front row spot. But there's still been instances when he's been standing there for so long, and then these people come just in the last second and try to push him out of the spot just to get their kids right where they want to be. But like, and it's funny, in some instances, like the parents will be pushing them, and like the kids don't even want to.
Yeah, so like it's more so for like the parents, because they're like, no, you have to go talk to them. And yeah, when it's really they want to do it, but they're using their kids.
Yeah, they're living vicariously.
Yeah.
And you always should know where it is, but it's like clear, like I said before, it's clearly labeled as stage door, and it's not that hard to find. I mean, there's some theaters that you will have to go around like the back of them to find exactly where it is, but they're normally just labeled, and it's really easy to find. And the best, like I said before, the best time is nighttime, because you'll get the most amount of people to come out and sign, and usually it's a better like atmosphere at night, like it's more calm and relaxed, because they have nothing really to do, and like you're not going, like really you should be only stage dooring if you have like nothing else to do. Like if you have something to do, like you have to know.
Yeah, like you said, you have to have time to wait. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it takes 2 hours, sometimes it takes an hour. It all depends on like when they're coming out and how fast it takes for them to get to you.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I would only stage door if you're comfortable in a big crowd, because there could be shows, like some shows I've staged door at, they had like not too many people, but like other shows it was like really, really packed, and it could get like intimidating. And I know, because I'm short, so like people tower over me, and
no, definitely
get squashed in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I would be comfortable doing it, because like I seem outgoing, but in crowds like that, I don't know if I would want to do it. for like the reasons you're saying, that like you could be like pushed out of the way even if you're waiting there. But yeah.
Yeah, like I would normally never. I used to not like the stage door like at all, but like recently I've enjoyed it like more than I thought I would, and I'm not normally one to be in like a big crowd or anything, so like it's just I find it really enjoying and a great way to like bond with your favorite actor or actress, and like always remember to say thank you to them, because like again, like I said, they're not paid to do this, so it's not in their contract. They just do it because they enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And like we said, skip the stage door if you're pressed for time, because it's gonna take you a while. And like you have to find some joy in it, but like some people also find it like a nightmare. It's their worst thing they've ever done was to go to the stage door. And like you could just tell by some of the like actors, like some that really enjoy and come out, and then others that come out and you're like, why did you come out? Because like they don't want to talk, they just want to keep going. And like I understand that, like, you know, they've just performed like a 2 hour and 30-minute show and like went through all that, so like, you know.
Yeah. Do they typically stay like long enough to like not obviously not everybody, but like if they're willing to come out, do they stay long?
Some do. Some will actually hold like a long conversation with you, and others are just like a sign and like they run by.
Yeah.
And like some shows allow you to take pictures with them, and others you can't take a picture, like you're just strictly signing just to get them out faster. And also, out of all the segment that you get is don't follow your favorite actor or actress home, because that's not good, and you know, how would you like to be followed home?
Yeah, really, I think that you have to think about that. Like, how would you want to be treated with it?
Okay, we'll be back after this commercial and we'll talk about personal experience. But Kaylin, do you have any personal experience stage dooring?
Like I said before, I've never stage doored myself, but I do remember the time that we were there together, and it was when, I forget the show we were going to see.
Pretty Woman.
It was Pretty Woman. We went with Ms. actually, and we were meeting up with a friend after for dinner, and you tried to get me to stage door. You're very insistent on it, but like I said before, I don't want to do it, and like you don't know if they're gonna come out or not. And like I said, we were meeting a friend, so I mean, we had places to be. But yeah, I didn't want to do it. You're very insistent on it, but it all worked out in the end, and we're still friends.
Yeah, we are. So like one of my favorite stage door moments happened like before a show, which sometimes like you could wait around before a show and like maybe you'll see them going in, maybe not. And one of my favorite Broadway actresses, Laura Dreyfus, she was Zoe Murphy in Dear Evan Hansen. And I've been dying to meet her because I've always been told like I look similar to her. So like, and I really like her music that she makes on her own and everything. So my dad and I were waiting around, and we just happened, like we were gonna leave because we had to go to lunch, my mom for lunch, and she came around the corner and she would not like stop. All these other people were like, oh, can you take a picture with me? Like, can you sign? And she wasn't. So I was like, okay, it's whatever. So then my dad said, oh, can you take one more picture? And she was like walking into the door, and all she did was like turn, and she looked at me and smiled and came down and like posed with me, and I thought that was like really weird because she like didn't have to say anything, but she just like came and she acted like she knew me, and she was like, oh, great to see you again, when I never saw her before. So I was like,
yeah, no, but that's really cool.
Yeah, like that definitely like left me, like I was shaking and I was like, whoa, like what just happened? Cause like I said, I had all this planned in my head of what I was gonna like say to her, and I said nothing because it was just like happened in like 5
Yeah,
seconds.
it was like so quick that you weren't even expecting it because like she was going into somewhere, so.
Yeah, like because she looked on a mission, like again, like how we've been saying this whole show, that like they're not paid to do that, like it's not, they just do it because they want to, and like we were stopping her before a show, so technically like, you know, she could have said no because like she didn't need to talk to us or anything, but like, I don't know. And then I have one interesting story of how when I saw Waitress, and that was starring Sarah Bareilles and Jason Mraz, and I waited at the stage door. That was the worst stage door experience ever because there was so many people. It went all the way out into the street, which not safe, but like and I was smushed on the top of the thing, and they had like so many guards with them coming out because like look at who they are.
It's
like,
Sarah Bareilles,
and she was like, she went like kind of really fast, and like she wouldn't take pictures with you because like she had to go and her car was like right there, so they were like whisking her like off, and like there were so many people like jamming things at her and everything. And my dad has been like, he loves Sarah Bareilles, he looks up to her, he's like, he writes music and stuff.
Yeah.
So like he asked her for a hug and she was like, it's flu season, no. This was back like 2 Januaries ago, like 2 years ago, and I just thought that was the funniest thing ever because
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, and like she walked away.
Was she like signing autographs though?
Yeah, she signed like the playbill, and then he had like a, what do you want to call it, like a, what is that called, like a sheet of like I guess this, I don't know,
like sheet music
yeah,
almost.
There you go, of her song Brave. So like she signed that, but she wasn't signing like more than one thing, but like she signed his thing.
Yeah.
I think she felt bad that she was like, oh, I don't want to hug you. So, but like Jason Mraz was like really nice, and he stayed like, they literally had to kick him out. They were like, you need to go home, because he was staying with like every single person. He was taking as many pictures as you want. And like someone gave him like pizza, which now in today's world like you can't necessarily give someone your food, but like.
Did he take it?
Yeah, he took it, and he was eating it during one. So I was like.
See, I love like people that are personable like that. Like I think that makes experience so much more like, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, definitely, because it makes them seem, I don't want to say more human, but like kind of like more like just
yeah.
like a normal person, like, and not this persona that you have of them.
I think that's funny that he took pizza from a fan.
Yeah, and he posed with someone's flat Stanley for their kid, like.
Oh, like how they do flat Stanley projects?
He posed with it, and I thought that was the cutest thing. Like,
that is.
Like, I wish Flat Stanley was around when they were, like,
when we went.
Yeah. So, and then always there's different weathers at the stage, or you either get like it's really rainy, it's really hot, or it's really cold. So like when I went to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that was back, I don't know, do you remember when we had those like record like cold?
I remember this, like when it was New Year's Eve and they were like, it was below zero in New York, you went like right after that.
Yeah, it was so, like, Times Square was dead, it was so cold, and I said the 8 o'clock show, so it ended at like 10:30, and I wanted to stage door, and like it was so cold, like everyone was shaking, and they were like telling you all to go home, but...
And was your dad out there an hour before?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But like, it was just like really cold, and, but I was just shocked that the little boy who played Charlie, like he was only like 8, he came out and he took off his gloves to sign, and like his like hands were all red. I was like felt so bad.
But like people did come out even though it was cold.
Oh yeah, like a decent number.
Were there a lot of people there though? Like
yeah, there was. So like that was the only good time you would want to be like packed in a crowd.
Yeah,
so
really.
Warm. But like then the one actor in the show, like I don't remember his name, but like he came out and was like yelling at everyone that they were out there like signing, because like again. It was like
freezing cold, yeah.
And they were saying you're gonna get frostbite if you're in. Like I was like bundled up, but like still when I got back to like the hotel room, I could not feel like a single thing. Like it was.
I can only imagine, especially because like it's windier in the city, so it's gonna be that much more cold. Yeah.
Exactly. It was, and then when I saw Wicked, it was like record. And I saw that on my 17th birthday in 2017. It was record heat. I started to get dehydrated, and that was like my first time stage touring, like one of my first times, and like I thought I was gonna hate it. That's what changed me to love it, and it was so bad. That was so hot, so it was such a change. Like I still don't know what I would rather. I wouldn't want to be freezing, but I would hate. Like I hated how hot it was, and like that was terrible. Like I said before, I initially hated stage door. Like. The first ever Broadway show I saw was Mary Poppins, and my parents tried to get me to go stage door, and I like refused. And like for a good like 3 years after that, I did not want to do stage door because I was like, I don't want to talk to people. Like I'm not like. But then when I went to Wicked, that changed, and I like really like. Cause they were all like really personable, and like it was just a fun experience. And
I mean, I would say maybe I'm open to doing it. No, definitely not in the freezing cold or record heat, but I would try it, I guess. I don't think if there's like a well-known person doing it, because then like you said, it gets like super busy, even if they're not coming out, like everybody's waiting to see if they will come out. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like when there's like a big name, you can expect even people that aren't fans of the show, because they just want the
big name, yeah.
Yeah, and they just want their signature to sell, which I think is crazy. Like, you know, you only go if you have like good intentions and the time.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like they just want the signature because then they can go and sell it even if they're not interested in it.
Yeah. We'll be back after this commercial break to talk about if Stage Door will ever come back. And we're back. So we're going to talk about, is Stage Door gone forever? So since Broadway's closed now until January 3rd because of all that's going on, I want to know, do you think Stage Door will ever come back?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I would say definitely not for a while. I think it's just going to be the new normal. I mean, that's everywhere, not just with Broadway. But I think the new normal might be that, like, nobody's going to want to be by each other because, so I think that it'll definitely, like, if it ever comes back, I think that it will definitely be a while until it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no safe way to, like, possibly, like, space out that many
Yeah.
people. Because, like I said, you're all, like, stuffed behind, like, 1 or 2 barricades and, like, that are, like, so there's no way you could, like, safely, like, not form, like, a big line. And I know they said, like, they already put out, like, the rules when they do open, that, like, they are getting rid of the stage door, and, like, I think it's a good thing, at least for now, because,
Yeah.
like I said, there's no good way.
Well, even if you do space people, like, obviously that's not realistic, but if you space people, it'll take too long.
Exactly.
And that's, like, one of the things that some people are just, like, get out, like, go and get out, so, like, it wouldn't be logical to even have it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, it does pose, like, a big, like, health threat, because you're in with so many people, like...
Yeah, like, you don't know where they're coming from either.
Exactly.
Like, New York City, like, people travel from all over to go to New York City.
Yeah. And, like, Stage Door has, like, never been suspended before, or Broadway has, like, never been closed this long. So I feel like it's just, like, the whole new normal, like, of what is gonna be. But, like, I think it will be very weird to, like, go to a show, like, now, because, like, it's obviously gonna be pretty different than we've all known it to be. But, like, to not have the stage door aspect, I just think, I mean, like, it'll alleviate more time so those actors and actresses could go home and, like, spend time with their family or, like, whatever they have to do, but, like, it's definitely gonna be weird coming from someone who, like, loves it so much that to see it go is kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, the main connection with them is gonna have to be, like, social media. Like, I know that you've done it before, but, like, you've sent, like, letters to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's literally, like, what you're gonna have to do,
Yeah,
because if you can't stage door.
Which I think that's a great way, is to send, like, letters and stuff, because I've become friends with, like, some people on Broadway, like Jane Bruce, who's on Jagged Little Pill, like, her and I talk, like, every day, and it was just because, like, over, like, this whole, like, quarantine thing, she said to send her, like, your address, and she would send you something, so, like, we sent mail back and forth, and, like, stuff,
Yeah.
and she knew that I saw the show, like, twice, so, like...
Yeah, I think that's, like, a really good way to connect with them. Because, like, social media, sometimes you'll, like, get lost. I know that could happen in the mail, too, but, like, not as many people send letters. So I think definitely that's, like, a good way to connect with them, if they are willing to, like, send mail back.
Yeah. Because I know, like, I've sent mail to the theater, and, like, most of the actors that I've sent to have sent something back. Like, now, granted, it either takes, like, could take it from a week to, like, 2 months, or, and, like, the ones that I sent to Christy Altimore, who was Anastasia, it took her 2 years to, like, and that show closed during the time, but it took her 2 years to respond, because she got so much mail, like, during the whole, like, run of the show, that it was, like, way too much for her to answer, and I get that. But, like, I just write it off. If they don't answer within, like, a year, I'm like, they're not gonna answer, like...
Well, I mean, like, they answer it themselves. Like, it's not like they have somebody doing it, right?
Yeah, they do it all themselves.
Yeah.
So, like...
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and that's, like, a lot to go through. Like, if you get a lot, if you're not keeping up with it, like, it's gonna pile up, and...
Well, how do you know, like, where to send it? Like, they're not giving out their home address.
No, they did it to the theater. You have to look
up
the
and, like, they
address
get
of
it
the
there.
theater, and then you put, like, attention, their name, so it goes to them. 'Cause, like, then it ends up in the mailbox of the theater, and then, like, whoever's in charge of, like, dispersing it gives it to the right person.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I think, like, the stage dooring may not, like, ever be a thing, but I think they're, like, coming with more, like, virtual options. Like, I know if you go through, like, some Broadway Plus site, like, you could pay money and schedule, like, a meet and greet over Zoom with them.
Oh, okay.
Which is, like, good.
Honestly, what everybody's turning to now.
Exactly. Like, it's less in person, more, like, virtual. But, like, I don't know. I'm hoping Stage Door eventually comes back, because I can't see Broadway without it. but like I think it's gonna take years, like
Definitely.
to come back.
I think also like when you pointed out Zoom, like I think that, not that it's like the better way, but I think that's a good way because like you can have multiple people on it, and like you can schedule different times, so it's not like right after the show you have to be somewhere, and it also just like gives you something to do.
Yeah. Well, and
So.
this time they're all out of work, so it gives
Yeah.
them like extra like something to do every day, and then like
Yeah.
the proceeds go to the Actors Fund, which helps all of them.
Which is good,
so,
yeah,
like,
because they're not getting paid,
yeah,
obviously,
they're
so
not. Yeah.
since all that money goes there, it's not like going right into their pocket.
And
So.
like you hope that it, I don't know, like I just hope it comes back because it is a great way to connect with them, but like also like you want to be safe.
Yeah,
And then like it's a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time. Like it's a double-edged sword. Like
it is.
Like I don't know, but it's just weird that this will be like when they do eventually come back. Like it'll be the first time that they've never had
Yeah.
like a stage door. And I mean some shows like don't necessarily stage door. There's only like plays I think don't really, but like most of the shows stage like do stage door and stuff. But like
Yeah. I think like if they ever come back, it'll definitely be like, no, I don't even know if many people will go.
exactly.
Like obviously diehard fans, they don't really care, they're gonna go.
Like
yeah,
me.
like you. But I think it'll definitely be an adjustment for everybody, either when they, like even when you start back without it, or when you do bring it back. I think it'll definitely be an adjustment.
Oh yeah, it'll be, because like I said, either you love it, you hate it, or you're somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You just get forced to go. because
Yeah.
of something like, and it's all of what you make it. So it could be a good experience. It could be not.
Yeah.
But it definitely, like I think their new wave of more virtual like meetings is like how it's gonna be for a while.
Yeah, definitely, I think so too.
Because that's like the safest way to go, other than like, you know, when you're crowding around strangers you don't even know.
Mhm.
Like you said. No, I don't know. I think I'd give it like 2 more years till it comes back fully. Like
Yeah, if it
possibly.
even happens, I
If-
think so.
Or maybe gone forever, which
Yeah.
I'll
Would
be
be
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as Broadway comes back and it's okay, like I'll be good with that. 'Cause I always go see Broadway,
Yeah.
so.
I think if you, like when Broadway comes back, I think it's good that like the shows will still be going on, even if it's not stage door.
Yeah.
Because that's still like, you can still run the show and be
Yeah.
distanced.
And like you said, like social media is a great place to connect with them if you want to connect with them, or send them
Yeah.
like a letter or something. Although I don't know if they'll. not
Yeah, be
like
taking mail either.
Yeah, because to save, I don't know.
Yeah. It's all up in the air, as everything is.
Yeah. Well, my aunt thought it was a great thing to take me to see Newsies, because I, thought she thought I would love the show, which I
Yeah.
love doing, but she wanted to stage door, and I, at that point, 12-year-old me was like way too quiet and shy to do it. So like my dad and her were standing there, and I hid behind my dad the whole entire time, and people felt bad. So they were like, "Oh, does your daughter want to come?" And I was like, "No." And then like the one actor tried to talk to me, I was like, "No." He's like, "Did you like the show?" I was like, "Yeah." Like I was so short with it.
See, like that would be me. Like I seem like an outgoing person, but no, that would be me. I'd be like, no, it's okay, I don't need to talk.
Well, that's how I was for like a long time. And like I said, my first Broadway show was Mary Poppins when I was 11, and that's when back then they offered like if you paid so much money, you got to like go backstage and meet everyone and be on stage, and like that terrified me.
Do they do that anymore?
No.
Okay.
And I don't know, like as we said, if with all this, if that'll ever come back. Like I think
Yeah.
it was like a one-time thing. It was like they were raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights Aid, I believe, and you had to donate like I think it was like $100 per person, and you got like with it you got a poster signed by the whole cast, but then you got to like go backstage and meet them all and like see the costumes and everything. So like now looking back, I'm so mad at my 11-year-old self that I didn't do that, because like no other show has
Had
that
done
I've
that.
been through, that
Yeah.
I've been to, has done that. So I'm like, now I really want to. And my dad was so, but like the thing I think why I didn't want to do it is because like the person that like came out and gave the speech about it was like, you could come on stage and sing and like do an act for us, and like my dad was so excited, and I thought you actually had to like go up
You
there
had
and
to.
perform a number.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I was like, I want to go
Could have
home.
sent your dad up there. I could definitely see him doing it.
Oh, he would have been the first one, like, right up there. He was so mad, like, he was crushed. He was like, I want to do it. And, like, my mom was like, I don't want to do it. Like, she, like...
Yeah, I know, that would definitely be, like, nerve-wracking. Especially, like, when you thought you had to do something to get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was, like, 11, so, like, I was, like, really little, and I was like, I did not want to meet, like, those people. Like, that terrified me. And then, like I said, at Newsies, that stage door was, like, the worst experience of my life. Like, all the other little kids over there were so excited, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I enjoyed the show, like, I really loved it. After that, I wanted to be a dancer, because, like, they danced in the show, and I loved tap dancing, but I was like, I quit dancing for basketball, so, like, no. But, like, so that stage door was, like, the worst. And then, like, I mean, I never experienced Mary Poppins, but, like, that probably I would not be interested in that if I didn't fit over, like, not wanting to go on stage.
Have you ever seen, like, other kids like that, too? Like, how you said that their moms will, like, push them forward or whatever, where they were like, you were like, no, I don't want to, I'm good.
Yes, recently when I saw, my last Broadway show I saw was Jagged Little Pill back in the beginning of February. There was this grandmother and this girl, and the grandmother was in love with Catherine Gallagher, who plays Bella Fox in the show. And she thought her granddaughter was too, and she, like, stopped the whole, like, she cut in front of everyone. She's like, excuse me. And, like, of course everyone let her go, because she was, like, this, like, sweet-looking old lady.
Yeah.
But she then started shoving and elbowing everyone. And she's like, my granddaughter loved you. And then she was screaming at her granddaughter to talk. She's like, talk. And her granddaughter, like, just kept looking down, trying to, like, run.
Yeah.
Like, talk to her. You love her. Ask her this. Ask her that. And she's like, I want to go home. Like, that was, like, it was uncomfortable to watch, because, like, the girl, like, clearly
because you knew how it felt because it was done to you.
I know. Exactly.
At Newsies.
Like, yeah, but not as bad as this girl. Like, this girl, like, actively looked like she was, like, it was the worst. Like, it looked like they were pulling her teeth, like, to come and talk to her.
That's crazy.
And then, like, then you just have, like I said, those people, those last-minute comers, and they think that they're so, like, higher than everyone else, and they need to get up there, and they need to do this. And, like, most of the time, like, the Broadway security, like, they'll let you, they try to, like, hold the spots more for everyone in the show, so they have, like, a better chance of getting, like, the spot, because, like, I mean, it is a disadvantage if you have, like, 25 people waiting outside the show.
Yeah, like, you didn't have anybody to wait outside, so you're coming right after the show.
And, like, Dear Evan Hansen, back when, like, it first opened and I went to see it, like, that stage door was always so packed and, like, so bad, and the one security guard, he, like, watched everyone to see where they were coming from, so if they weren't coming from, like, the door where the theater exits at, he was not letting you, like, letting you
you had to be coming out of the show.
Yeah, you had to be coming out of the show. And there was this, like, couple of people, and they were all there to just see Michael Park, who played Larry Murphy in Dear Evan Hansen, but, like, they knew him as, like, someone on, like, some soap opera, and so they were, like, really excited to see him. And their mistake was they kept, like, announcing that they didn't see the show, that they were there, so he caught on, and he's like, you can't stand here, you have to leave. And they're like, why? And he's like, because I know you didn't see the show.
Well, wait, yeah, that brings up a good point. Like, if you've never seen, like, if you're a fan but you've never seen the show, like, you're not allowed to come, right?
Well, you are.
Or some allow it and kind of just, like let it go.
Like, some will let you stand wherever, but, like, then he told them they could wait behind, like, every single other person. Like, he held them off, and he was like, okay, like, you can come, like, that. But, like, see, what my dad does is he normally steps back and then, like, just make sure no one jumps, like, in. And then, like, I go, like, right there, because, like, I'm always coming, like, right out.
Like, yeah, right from the show.
But, like, some shows are easier, like I said, to get into the stage door and, like, get there, because, you know, there's normally not too many people, but, like, some shows, like Dear Evan Hansen, that was, like, the worst. And Waitress with Sarah Bareilles and Jason Mraz, there was just so many people. And, like I said, you have your people that'll be, like, really nice to you, and, like, oh, like, oh, what, you're so excited, what did you like about the show, like, blah, blah, blah. And then there's other people that are, like, just there to, like, you know.
Yeah.
And they want to be there. But, like, there's so many people that try to, like, get them to, like, pull out their phone and be like, oh, say this to my friend, or say this to this. And I think, like...
Like on FaceTime?
Yeah, that they pull out, like, FaceTime. And I just, like, don't think that's necessarily, like...
Yeah, no, I feel like that would be very awkward. So, I don't know,
Yeah, like, I don't know, I just think that's, like, like, I think if you're going, you all should, like, respect everyone, like, everyone around you, and the person, like, it's, like, okay to be excited, but there's a point to taking it too far.
Yeah. And like the people outside saw the show, and then you have somebody on FaceTime that's just chilling there, like, oh, talk to me first.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me over this person.
Yeah.
And like normally the people, like if you are in like the back of the line, normally people are nice enough to pass your playbill up to get so you still get it signed.
Yeah.
But like you're not gonna get a picture if you're all the way in the back.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's nice that people are nice enough to do that.
Yeah. Like as I said, the nicest one was Newsies, even though I had no interest in it. Like the people were like the nicest I've ever seen there, because they were actually like willing to give me a spot if I wanted it. But like I said, that terrified me. So I was like, I was not gonna do it, and there was no way they were gonna make me do it. So like it was just like painful. Like honestly, like to look at, like looking back at the pictures of that, I looked terrified. Like I looked horrified after it. So we'll be back after this commercial break to talk more about Stage Door. Okay, and we're back. So now we're going to talk about Pretty Woman, because I did see it with Kaylin, but she didn't stage door it. We didn't stage door it that time, but then I did see it again, like a month later than that, and I stage door it. And I have to say, that show was the oddest probably setup for a stage door, because it's not like they don't necessarily have the door that I said, like it says stage door. It's like right next to a restaurant, so it kind of looks like they're going into the restaurant. And like you would not think that there was like a stage door, because usually like when you come out of a show, like it's already set up, and there it's like there's nothing, and like they literally wait till the last person to exit the theater.
Oh, to set it up.
Yeah, and then they set it up.
Is it because like they usually don't come out, or just like?
No, I just think because it's like they don't necessarily have like a good enough space, because they're like right next to.
Well, that was like at the Nederlander. That's pretty small.
Yeah, it is very small, and like that's also where I saw Newsies. But like I remember Newsies being on the other side of it, so I don't know what like happened from 2012 to like when did we even see that? 2018? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say 2018.
Yeah, it was like probably somewhere around there. So like it was just weird, but like they're like the girl, Samantha Parks, who played Vivian, she came out. She was like the first one to come out, and like they had a car waiting for her, and she brought her dog Ivy, which was the cutest thing. The dog had little Ugg boots, and it was like the cutest
thing. Remember we saw her walking?
Yeah,
we went together.
Yeah.
And then you like hit me, and you're like, "Oh no, that's Samantha Parks," and I was like, "I don't know who that is, but okay."
Yeah. You can always count on me to know who.
I know, because now, like how you said, like, oh yeah, you regret not doing anything in Newsies. Like I regret not being like, oh my god, like I know who you are now. You were amazing in the show.
Yeah, no, she was like the first one to come out, and I have to say, like for her being like the lead, she came out like the fastest compared to any other stage door I've been to. That is like the leads coming out, like they normally are the last person.
Yeah.
But like she was like the first, and like she was like so nice, and also there was like not that many people, because they set it up in like a U shape, so it's like. It's really bizarre how it's set up, but like I kind of prefer like how they set it up there, because like not many people think that there's a stage door there.
Yeah.
So it's like very less crowded, and it's more like relaxing and calm. And funny enough, like I went with my mom and my grandmother, but she thought she recognized that Samantha Parks thought she recognized my dad in the audience, and he's like, I didn't see the show. And she's like, oh, you look like someone I was staring at the whole time, and he's like, that was not me. And then, like, also when we were at the stage door, so Andy Carl and Orphe, who played Kit and he played Edward, they, like, came out, and they normally stage door, but they were going on vacation, so they had, like, a car, and they, like, just, like, ran, and, like...
Oh, so they didn't stage?
No, they didn't. They, like, went on the side. But, like, then again, there's not really a side door. It's, like, they all exit through kind of, like, the same door.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, like, a stage door.
Well, does everybody exit out the stage door, even if they're not going to stay for, like...
Sometimes,
to sign things?
Yes. Like in Mean Girls, they typically mostly all come out that they'll just like walk and not acknowledge that they're like looking at you. But I know at Mean Girls there's like a couple, like there's a door, like a random green door, and that's where some of them come. And then like some of the theaters have like in the back, like the very back, there's like a door, so they could go if they don't want to like come out. But like at Pretty Woman, they pretty much exit at the same door, so like you saw them.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm trying to think, like, not too many people came out in Pretty Woman, which I was surprised, but, like, also I think because they know how many people they typically get, and it's not, like, a lot, so, like, why would you come out if you know, if there's gonna be, like, no one there?
Yeah, did anybody from the ensemble come out?
Oh my god. Yeah, the girl that's the Samantha Parks understudy, but she's, like, in the ensemble, she came out, And then,
well, didn't she end up becoming Vivian in the show?
yeah, she ended up, when Sam left, she took over the role, so, like, that was really cool to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jake Odemark, who he was the understudy of Edward, and he was in the ensemble, but, like, he came out, and he was really cool because he told me I looked like his ex-girlfriend. I was like, that's like, he said, no, it's a good thing, because I really liked her.
That's nice.
And then he, like, asked me where I was from, and I said Pennsylvania, and he's like, that's the worst state. He's like, he's from Virginia, so he said Virginia's better. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, I do think, because I think that was all that came out then, because, like,
yeah.
I was really hoping to meet Tommy Bracco, who...
Oh, yeah, I remember Tommy
the
Bracco.
bellhop. I don't know the name, but, like...
But he was
he
super
so
funny in the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
didn't come
hoping.
out.
And he normally would come out, like, because like, all the other times, I'm seeing, like, pictures of, like, the stage door there, like, he was always, like, out as one of them, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, understandable, but, like, I just really love him. I think he's so cute.
He was so funny.
He was, like, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was, like, a good show.
I love that show.
I know we tried when we saw it to see, but, like, then again, we didn't know. Like, I was telling you, I was like, I don't know where this is at, because, like, they didn't set up anything.
Yeah, because it was such a small theater that, like, we had no idea where it was even going to be.
No. And then, like, when we were at dinner, remember I said, like, I saw pictures, and you're like, you can run, but I'm like, yeah.
You could run.
Like, I'm not running. I'm running all the way back there. No, that was definitely, like, the weirdest setup.
Yeah.
Like, it was just awkward. Like, how they had, like, that, and that was also, like, the least amount of people that I've ever stage doored at. Like, that was the least amount that came out. Like, 'cause most of the time, you get, like, a pretty good number, and like I said, it's mostly, like, either ensemble members, like, coming out. So, like, some people get annoyed with that, which I think you should never get annoyed with that, because, like I said, they do, like, sometimes 10 times more work.
Yeah, like, you're lucky anybody comes out, too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and we've been saying the whole show, it's, like, not in their contract, they're not getting paid extra. Like, some people like to think they're getting paid extra for this, and it's, like, it's not. Like,
yeah.
And I just think...
And like you were saying, the ensemble does so much.
Yeah, they literally have...
That, like, nobody really realizes.
Yeah, they're like the unsung heroes of the show. Even understudies, too. Like, so I know people get annoyed if an understudy's on, but, like, they are learning, like, however many big parts of the show.
Yeah,
so,
like, they're learning multiple parts.
Yeah, so, like, they have to, you know, learn it all. But I just think stage story, ultimately, can be, like, a really fantastic experience. But I also do see the other side of it that, you know, it's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, okay, that's okay. But it is for some people.
Yeah.
And then, like, you just have to learn how to have fun with it. Like, I know in the beginning I was always way too stressed. And, like, I'm going to sound stupid or whatever. But, like, it's not. It's supposed to be, like, fun. It's not supposed to be something...
Like, stressful.
Exactly.
And if you are going to be stressed,
then
don't recommend.
And then also, like, the major takeaway is to be polite. Like, just respect them. Like, it's not that hard to be respectful of someone. And then...
Don't follow them.
Yeah, don't follow them home. That's a big key. Do not follow them home.
Yeah.
I know you may love them, but, like, no one...
wants to be followed home.
And they will not be so nice to you.
And then they'll just stop coming out anyway.
Exactly, like that. Yeah. Like, especially in Barrett's case, she won't ever do it.
Yeah, because that's traumatic.
Yeah, that's very traumatic. And I know Alex Brayman, who played Beetlejuice, he got, like, death threats over not coming out. But and, like, I know he's always used to come out, but, like, now he's stayed away from that. And then, like, it's not mandatory, so, like, you know, you're just doing it because you want to. They're doing it because they want to. So it's supposed to be, like, light and airy and, like, fun, but, like... Yeah. And, like, also only stage door if you have good intentions. If you're going just because you want to sell their autograph or something, don't do that. Like, that's just a waste. And then I highly recommend stage dooring, and I think everyone should try it at least once, but right now you can't do that, and maybe eventually...
Hopefully we do.
You could. Hopefully. Yes. And I'll get you to do it next time, too.
We'll see.
I'll change you into a stage door person.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be back again so you can do it. Because I know you will.
Oh yeah, I'll be the first one when it comes back to be there. Well, maybe not the first one, but pretty close to the first one. So, that's all for our show today. So tune in next week where we talk about our favorite Broadway shows.